Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Now before the festival of Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The devil had already put it into the heart of Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray him. And during supper, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, got up from the table, took off his outer robe, and tied a towel around himself. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that was tied around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus answered, "You do not know now what I am doing, but later you will understand." Peter said to him, "You will never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no share with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, not only my feet, but my hands and my head." Jesus said to him, "One who has bathed does not need to wash except for the feet, but is entirely clean. You are clean, though not all of you." For he knew who was to betray him. For this reason, he said, "Not all of you are clean." After he had washed their feet, had put on his robe, and had returned to the table, he said to them, "Do you know what I have done for you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for that is what I am. So if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, so you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have set you an example, that you should also do as I have done to you. Very truly I tell you, servants are not greater than their master, nor are messengers greater than the one who sent them. If you know these things, you are blessed if you do them. Now the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him. If God has been glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and will glorify him at once. Little children, I am with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and as I said to the Jews, so now I say to you, where I am going, you cannot come. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You should also love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
What does it mean to be Eucharist? To give and receive love in humble service to one another. Be broken. Give of your body. Right after I gave birth to Mari, the midwife put her right on my chest so that she could feel my heartbeat and know that she was secure. This is my body given for you. Many parents, after bathing a baby or changing a diaper, then that little body is all clean, they'll grab the feet and they'll kiss those little feet and briefly play with that little baby. This is my body given for you. As children grow, parents teach, they drive, they lose sleep with worry about what's best for their children. This is my body given for you. Single people give so selflessly of themselves to friends, family, and strangers because they can. This is my body given for you. There are those whose turn it is to come out and let their family know or their friends know of their sexual orientation. This is my body given for you. Couples do the best that they can at loving one another. And if that love is broken, good friends step in to console those who are sad. This is my body given for you. If one has an elderly parent, we adult children tend to them, whether it is full-time or part-time, once a week. We feed them, perhaps clean them, keeping them company, showing our love for them. This is my body given for you. There is also our work, whether in the home or beyond it. We move our bodies to accomplish tasks and make life good for our families, our co-workers, and the world. This is my body given for you. And there is all the rest of life, making meals, cleaning, keeping an eye on everyone, making sure family members and friends are safe, and all more. This is my body given for you. And there are grandparents who extravagantly give to the joy of their children and grandchildren. This is my body given for you. Today, the first of the 3 great days, our highest holy time, Jesus is about to ultimately give his body. Jesus has already given his body, healing others, raising the dead, befriending the outcast, creating enough food for large crowds with just very little. But it's on this night that Jesus gathers with his closest friends. And this night is different because there is an intimacy. In the company of his closest friends, Jesus gets very honest and says, "You following me is going to be hard. I've given you the best of my love. Now I want the best of your love." It's what Jesus asks of you and me. Wants the best of our love. Will you love as I have loved? Will you be Eucharist? And here I'm going to go intimate. And please excuse me if I miss something because there is so much. But I think of Jesus asking the Church of St Andrew all of these questions. And I remember looking beyond our walls with collection of food or needs of Ukraine and finding a way to get a speaker here. I find organizing an Easter egg hunt because we need children at our church and we need to be connected to the preschool. You all took me in at the recommendation of Bishop Tracy, completely changing your course, because this is what you do. Some of you have slept over other people's houses when they were alone and not well. There are those who send out emails or phone calls with all kinds of messages to keep everyone praying for one another and knowing what is going on, especially for those who are sick or the dying. There are those of you who remind myself and Kurt of what needs to be done, just in case. And there are those who come over to church to pretty it up, to change the paraments, to help decorate, either with a friend or by yourself. There's those of you who put your name down all the time when some things need to be done. There's those who put themselves at the service of the congregation in whatever way you can. Some of you put your body on the line to sing, do a coffee hour, buy a cake, organize a meal, because it is important that we build community. Daring to be family, even when we are not related, being on council or another meeting group. And there's more. In all of these things you have said, this is my body given for you. And this is what it is to follow Jesus. It is to go the extra mile, to search for the lost coin, to find the lamb who has kind of gone in another direction, to welcome the runaway, and to help the other understand acceptance. This is the agape meal, the meal of extraordinary love, the meal that says, I love you deeply, no matter what. This is the meal that says, my love is unconditional. No matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, I love you. This is the meal that gives us bread for the journey, because what we are asked is not easy. And this is the meal that gives us wine, because we need life, and our lifeblood is Jesus. It is during this meal also, though, that people will leave, like Judas, and others will promise love. But when they go out into the public, they will deny even knowing Jesus, like Peter. It's the meal of Jesus' unconditional, intimate love for each one of us. It is the meal that Jesus asks us to love one another as Christ loved us. It is Eucharist. It is the meal of the new commandment. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You should also love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples. This is what it means to be Eucharist. So when you need, eat the unleavened bread. And give it time to need you, K-N-E-A-D. Give it time to work with you. Then you will be needed, N-E-E-D, by somebody else. Allow yourself to be broken and given to others. And you will then find yourself more than you were.